telling you anything you don't already know, but think about, responsibilities with work. You've got responsibilities around the house, things that come with finances, things that come with, shuffling all of your adult responsibilities, which can be a real pain in the neck sometimes. And you've got all the responsibilities around your kids. We need to pause sometimes and just take a breather as a family, as parents. If you think that being a parent is the greatest and most important job you're ever going to do, but you also fully understand that it's filled with challenges and headaches too, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Dad's All In podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dad's All In show. Glad you joined me. This is a quick check-in. So as you're well aware, if you're a consistent listener, last week I took a week off for the Easter break, which was amazing, and it got me thinking about a few things. Number one, that we need to pause sometimes and just take a breather as a family, as parents. So last week with Easter, I was able to just take a little bit extra time, take my foot off the gas with a variety of other things. It's just important to always focus on the most important job that we have, which is taking care of our kids. But there are a lot of things that keep you from doing that. And I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but think about, responsibilities with work. You've got responsibilities around the house, things that come with finances, things that come with, shuffling all of your adult responsibilities, which can be a real pain in the neck sometimes. And you've got all the responsibilities around your kids. And depending on the age of your child or your teenager, that all looks different. So for example, if you've got real young ones, you spend a lot of your time chasing if they're mobile. If they're newborns, you spend a lot of the time just taking care of them and doing whatever it is that they need to do to stay healthy and be happy and keep them going so they can grow and develop. As they get older, they get beyond toddler years, as we talked about a couple weeks ago when we dove into the youth activities and how expensive they are, and I gave you some options. If you missed out on that, go back and watch the previous episode or listen to the previous episode on the podcast, and you'll find some tips on how you can save some money with youth activities, youth sports, because it's expensive. But what happens is you find yourself shuffling your kids all over the place, whether it be school-related activities or sports, or maybe they're involved with the arts or clubs or organizations. There's just so many things. And especially if you've got multiple kids, you find that you are flying all over the place. So I say all of that because it's just nice to sometimes pause and take a breather. And this was a really good reminder for myself about all the things I've been doing. It's good for me to pause and take a breather too. Now, my goal as a dad is to dive into all the things that I do for content creation, podcasts, live streams, all the things that I'm doing for the Dad's All In podcast and show. I try to do that when there's downtime, and it's usually at night. Even for my YouTube channel, I will record, as crazy as this sounds, I record at 10 o'clock on Friday nights or Saturday nights, sometimes both. And then I will use any downtime to go through and edit and add into any of those videos. And when it comes to what I do for the show and the podcast, I try to make sure that I'm not bleeding into a lot of my time with my kids. But that doesn't make it easy for me, because that means I don't have a lot of extra time just for myself to focus on myself or my wife and the things that we need to do or the fun we want to have. So that can be a challenge. So again, I was just reminded in the last week of the importance of finding time to breathe. When I say parents need a break, I don't necessarily mean you got to jump on a plane and go across the world and take a vacation all on your own. If you're more than able to do that, feel free. That's not really what I'm getting at in this talk today. I'm really getting into the idea of finding meaningful time when you can take care of yourself. For a lot of people, that might be working out, but it could also be, what else are you doing? Could you find a half an hour to listen to a podcast? I'm a big time podcast listener. It's why I do what I do. I've been listening to podcasts for decades now. And I have found that it's helpful for me to listen to stuff while I'm doing stuff. So I kind of, take a break from certain things in that regard, but it's also good to sit down and watch a movie or take in a TV series or maybe even just check out what's happening on social media. Whatever it is that you feel like is helpful, it's just good for you to take a breather sometimes, especially as parents, because life is hectic. So I say all of that because I want you to understand that even though life is hectic, you still got to make sure that you take care of yourself so that you can be your best for your kids. For me, that means I probably take about 1 hour a night, especially during the weekdays. And after everybody's gone to bed, I usually stay up a little bit later, and it's usually about an hour, and I can do whatever it is that I feel like I need to. So sometimes that's like watch a show. Sometimes that is maybe I do some work for my podcast stuff, just whatever I feel like is helpful or just something I'm interested in. And for my wife, she has her hour or so in the morning before everybody gets up. So I'll stay up later. She'll wake up earlier. But we try to find a little bit of time for ourselves too, which is good to keep us going. And whether you're using that for more serious stuff, like taking care of your responsibilities, like sometimes I will even have to do my work for my job as a professor, grading papers and things like that. I might have to do some of that at home, and that's when I could do it. Or if it's just, take time to have fun, relax, decompress, because you need it. You absolutely need it. Again, so that you can be your best for your kids. So, speaking of taking a breather, I'm going to take a breather. I have been going hard since July. So if you're new, welcome. But here's the good news. If you're new, you can go back and watch months of content and listen to months of content on the podcast, because I have been grinding hard since I started this back in the beginning of July. And I have kicked in even with live streams that I do. I've been doing every single week. I started that in January. So because I'm at the end of a semester, again, I'm a professor, the end of the semester is a little bit nuts, trying to get all the grading in, try to take care of our students with advisement, and also looking at just tying up some loose ends and getting ready for the next semester that comes. And I end up teaching some in the summer. So this next few weeks, I'm going to take a breather. I'm going to back away. I'm not going to completely work on podcasting stuff. I am going to work on some stuff in my free time, but it's probably not going to be for this podcast. That's actually kind of news. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep on keeping on with the Dad's All In show. But what I am going to do, if you have ever thought about podcasting, you've been interested in it, I have some good news for you. I'm going to work on teaching people who want to have a podcast. I've been a long believer in what I call service-based podcasting. I've never been somebody who just does podcasting for entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my niche. It's not really why I do what I do. I just want to help. I'm happiest when I help people. And so if I can get behind a mic and share some things, or bring on guests that can share some things, I feel like I'm making a dent in the world and helping people. So that's why I started back in 2020, and I originally started with educators. I quickly also added in a second podcast for parents, which has progressed now to the Dad's All In show. And this is my solo podcast. However, I am going to take on a second podcast. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. I am going to take on a second podcast. And that new podcast is all going to be around helping you start a podcast and work on improving in a podcast and growing your podcast, all those things. So I say that because it's going to be the passion-driven podcast starting a week from, this is coming out on a Sunday, so a week from tomorrow, I will be up and running on YouTube, which will be coming out with 3 videos. And I'm planning on pushing things out in the passion-driven podcasting podcast as well. I'm doing a lot to try to help you get your podcast up and running. So if you've ever felt like I've been interested in it, I'm here to tell you it's not as difficult as you think it is. You don't have to be a tech genius, and I'm going to teach you in a way that's not going to cost you anything if you want. And you can pick up a mic for fairly cheap if you want, but you don't even have to do that if you don't want to. So if you want to subscribe to that YouTube channel, right now I don't have anything posted, so you're going to put at Passion Driven Podcasting and you'll find me. And you can subscribe and then you'll be updated. And if you hit the little bell, they'll let you know when the new episodes come out. And I'm coming out running with 3 right away. And they're going to be guiding you through everything you need to know. My main goal is just to help people get rolling on a podcast. It's pretty simple. My big hope is that people who are interested in service-based podcasting, helping whoever, that can look a variety of different ways, that they're interested in this. And we'll see where this goes. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been something that's been tugging on me for a long time. In case you don't know, I've been podcasting for a long time. So when I say a long time, 6 years now. And I started by helping teachers coming out of COVID, because it was just rough to be a teacher, trying to figure all that out. And I started by giving them information and ways for them to help themselves move forward, which was a high burnout time. And joined up with a podcast network called the Teach Better Podcast Network. And just amazing people. I was just so fortunate to grow connections and a network. And eventually, because of that, it led into virtual summits that I did where I would bring on guests from all around the world, interview them, and it started with just educators, and I started to do some in the summit for parents and also community members who work with kids. And along the way, as I said, I started feeling the tugs of, hey, I think I want to do some parenting podcast work. So that actually kicked in 21 or 22, I can't remember, somewhere in there, and I've been at that for a long time. So I just am all about service-based podcasting. So I want to share the things that I've learned. And I want to share how you get started and let you know that it's not as difficult as you probably think it is. It's doable. It's very doable. So again, if you're interested in that, I'm going to have a YouTube channel at Passion Driven Podcasting. Eventually, I will also have a coupling sister podcast that goes along with that. It will just be the Passion Driven Podcasting podcast. And you can also find me on Substack now, because I'm wrapping all of that. I've never been on Substack before. I haven't really done a ton of writing. A lot of podcasters will do newsletters and things like that. So I am going that route. So if you want to look up Passion Driven Podcasting on Substack, you'll find me. I don't have a lot of subscribers yet, but I'm just getting started literally this week. So my goal is to start doing a little bit of writing there. I'm going to share videos there, and I'm going to start to share some free gifts. Like I'm working on a booklet right now that will guide you through a PDF, all the steps on how you go about starting up your own podcast. All right. So there it is. That's a lot of information. That is really what I'm working on the next few weeks and beyond. But my goal is to step back from this podcast for a few weeks so I can finish up my semester and get those things rolling for the Passion Driven Podcast projects, and then come roaring back as we head into the summer, which is crazy to think. Wow, we are halfway through April and we're heading into May. That is nuts. So one more time, I'll see you back in a few weeks. I can't wait to talk with you again. And in the meantime, feel free on YouTube to hit the subscribe, hit the like button. And if you're coming at me on podcast, please follow, rate, and review. All those things help me, help the channel really get out to more parents, more people who need it. So thanks so much for listening. I hope you have a great week. Hope you have a great couple weeks. We'll see you again and talk to you soon, my friend. Thanks for listening to the show. Be sure to follow me at Dad's All In Podcast on all the socials. You can also email me with any questions that you'd like answered on future shows, or just to provide me with feedback or ideas. Feel free to reach out to my email, dadsallinpodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great one, my friend.